Welcome to another episode of the Levity Floatcast. Today we sit down with Becca Marshall, a fitness instructor and somebody who was very transparent and open about their mental wellness on this episode. So sit back, relax, and let's Floatcast. Perfect. We are here with Becca Marshall. Becca, welcome to the Levity Floatcast.
Thank you.
Excited to have you in. Fitness, obviously a passion of yours.
Yes.
How did that start?
Good question. That's a question I get a lot. It's like, how did you get into it? A lot of people got into fitness through like sports in high school. Yeah. For me, my grandpa was actually a bodybuilder. So he was a bodybuilder when bodybuilding was first starting. So when most people weren't. Like now, everyone's sort of into fitness. Like everyone has a gym membership, even if, you know, it's not your whole life. It's like generally like, you should be sort of into fitness.
It's in right now. It's trendy.
Right. So I started, my grandpa was a bodybuilder, like I said. My mom was very into fitness, brought me into the gym when I was 12 or maybe 11, lied about my age so I could get in because I think you had to be like 14 or something crazy. Yeah. And I remember seeing the people in the gym and I was like, I love that they can like come here and look the way they want to look. And seeing the women with their muscles and just, however long, 10 plus years ago, I just thought that was so awesome. And so from there, that carried me into college where I really got into like lifting and fitness. I dated a guy that was like a big meathead and that like just, it all just escalated.
So
right?
If you kind of wanted to get out of school, but you were studying like, what was it? Dietetics. You were always into working out, but how did you become a personal trainer then?
So while I was at Pitt, I worked at Lululemon, and I don't know if you guys know anything about their like working there.
I know nothing.
Okay, so Troy, basically, when you work there, they're like, all right, so you're an employee here, but we care about your long-term goals, like even if it's not with us. So they'll like make you do like a vision board, and they give you cards, at least they used to, debit cards that load every month that they're called like your health benefits, but it's for workout classes like around the city. And like that yoga studio right there, like I could go there and do a drop-in with my Lulu card. And then I started going to this new one called Elevate. And at this point, my social media presence was like small, but like, I don't know, it grew all organically. I never grew it I never tried to grow it. I had probably like 4,000 or 5,000 followers. And so I had friends in the city that were like, hey, come to the studio, come to this. And I, at the time, didn't realize that like I was starting to build a tiny bit of a fitness presence, even without being an instructor yet. But I was starting to do just like posting stuff. And I went to Elevate. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's a Versa climbing studio. Yeah, really cool. Went there like the first month they opened. And the one guy that worked there was like, hey, you should be an instructor here. Or I think I made a joke about like, can I get a free class? Which was like kind of like being an asshole. Now that I think about it, like, can I get a free class? He was like, yeah.
What a shot.
Yeah, I was like, why not try? He was like, well, yeah, come to training tomorrow if you want to be an instructor and get free classes all the time. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah. I went the next day, became an instructor there, and that was my first instructing job. It was super like random, and I was like, why not? So I started there, and that, skyrocketed everything else. So then I got my, I started going to 3 Minute Fitness in Southside, and they were like, you just need a boot camp certification to work here. And I was like, word. And so I got that. So like, I just like kept just doing things. Like it was like building. And then I realized I wanted a personal train because you can make way more money doing it. So I studied and got that last year. And that's how I became a personal trainer. And now at Shape, I'm really, pun intended, shaping my personal trainer like career. I just feel like I have so much more value as a trainer being there.
That's one of the interesting things of having your arms around the physical side of things. Working with people, personal training, always keeping care of them physically. How many of them do you see kind of suffer from anxiety or the mental health side of things?
I would say, honestly, like we all do. I know I'm pretty open about my mental health and anxiety, and I won't lie, like some days if my anxiety is unbearable, going to the gym's the only thing that makes me feel sane in that moment. Like in the moment, I'm like hurting my body kind of, because you're kind of hurting it physically, tearing the muscles, whatever. And that's the only time I feel sane during those days with anxiety.
Well, okay. That's helpful to know because going in, you have a fast racing mind. You'll have a bit of
judgments.
Hamster wheeling. So just breathe through it. some like really centered.
Will I like freak out in there?
No. I mean,
because I can like open it if I want. Like, no,
Yeah.
I know that, right? Okay.
You can, I mean, this is our 6th year. We've had over 20,000 people, knock on wood, no freakouts. But that's
because
a lot of people. Like, you can open the door at any time. You can close it when you're ready.
Okay.
If you want to step out, you can step out. You're in complete control. And that's what makes our tank super nice.
Okay.
But if you're ready, this is what we forgot to ask. On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your stress level today?
1 to 10. And 1's not stressed and 10's really stressed.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Well, in terms of stress, I'm going to give it like a 3 or 4. Like, I'm not stressed.
Right on.
In terms of like a little hyper because of the coffee, probably like 7.
Right
6,
on.
7.
All right.
Just breathe. That's
Yeah.
the biggest thing. Just breathe. You'll be okay.
Okay. At least I'm not stressed.
Right on.
I think that would be worse.
Well, it's really good when you are stressed, but it'll be good no matter what.
I'm anxious, so it's fine. Like, I'm a little anxiety sprinkled, and it's cool.
Sweet. We'll be right back.
Yeah, that makes sense. All
The salt. I was going to say. I don't ruin these.
Troy, you got some odd socks on there, sir. Is that the Cheshire Cat?
Oh, you know. Alice in Wonderland.
I'm sorry, sir. I didn't notice those earlier in the show.
I didn't either.
I hide them.
We appreciate you.
You only notice when
Tuesday.
your eyes are. It is Tuesday.
It's tie-dye Tuesday.
Hashtag.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, it's working this time.
My man.
I messed up the Instagram. I got everything else going, but now
IG Live wasn't on.
yeah, I just messed up. Man, you were hitting
Dude,
that
I
gong
have
today.
no idea. Listen, I don't know how that's happening.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay.
So we're back.
We're
How do you
back.
feel?
I feel much calmer, I will say. Still trying to take everything in. I feel like I was kind of freaking out in the beginning a little bit. I was just kind of like, oh no, I'm not going to last the full hour. And I guess I technically didn't because I lasted like probably 50 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
I just got a little water in my eye and then it kind of like cycled from there. Not cycled, it kind of like domino effect from there. I was just like, okay, it's in my eye, it burns. And then I wiped it off and then it was like burning more. And then it got in my mouth and it was like, ugh. Then I was like, okay, I don't think I can do this. But when I first started, it was like, oh boy, this is like a little scary. Mm-hmm. And I get anxiety on planes and things where I know I'm not in control. And I was like, the feeling of like releasing control was a little bit scary.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew like the more you do this, the more like you'll feel like part of this environment. And I did. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it was definitely relaxing because you're like on the verge of almost sleeping, but you're not. Like, I don't think I could sleep in there.
Not a lot of people.
I don't think
do.
people. Yeah.
Some people look at it as they'll come in and do a lot of people sleep or almost look towards sleep, and it's not a lot of people that do. And some people almost see that as a goal when they come in and say that kind of stuff. But you're right. You're really teetering there, and that's sleep stage 1, that restorative of the mind and body.
Something I like to ask everyone and, you know, share as much as you're comfortable with, but were you able to work through or deal with like any like trauma or like more critical issue?
So yeah, I was definitely working through like very mundane things, very, what am I trying to say? Things coming up. But then it definitely got to the point of, wow, first it was, I can't sit still. I can't be alone with myself. And I knew that going in, that's why I had anxiety. And then it got to the point where I was like, well, here I am, I'm doing it just like on a plane. Once I have the initial panic, I'm on this damn plane. I can't get off. Like that's kind of how it felt, but it's acceptance. So I started to feel that during my time in there, the acceptance of I'm on this plane and I'm not going to get off and I'm okay with it. And I'm conquering the fear and I'm just here and I did it. And I'm like safe with my body. I think that's where one thing I started to feel. And I'm sure the more I do this, the more I'm going to have, like you were saying, yours today was really enriching. Like, I think the more I might have experiences like that.
Oh, I definitely want to say kudos to you for admitting that you can't really be alone with yourself. Or, I don't want to like label it and say like as a whole, but
no,
like at least saying it now, because I don't think people realize that they can't be alone with themselves. And I think it takes a lot to say that.
Thank you.
Even just that digital detox. I mean, we're all just so inundated with notifications, buzzes, dings, and to step away for an hour and to be alone with your thoughts. It's just like a skill like any other wellness practice. When guests ask about it, it's like if you would go to the gym once and be like, I went to the gym, I'm done, I'm good, I'm covered.
Right.
That'd be the same way if like, well, I floated once.
Yep.
That mental workout that you get in there and to clear your headspace and be able to do some work in there, it's like, I mean, leveling up.
Wow. That's a great way to put it. I just had a thought come to mind. Like, doing a workout for an hour is way less scary than that. Like, I would do that in an instant. That's like, now I see why people that I train are like, oh my God, I didn't want to come today. And I'm like, well, I get that too, because I get not being motivated some days. But like, doing a workout in an hour, a piece of cake for me. Like, okay, I'll go do it. It's your norm. Fucking hard. Like, I like doing that again. I'm gonna be like hyping it in my head, like mentally preparing. Like, that was really hard for me. So yeah, it was definitely something that it takes discipline and to practice, and yeah.
Right on. Becca, it was great meeting you. It was so cool to sit and talk and listen to your story and hear your philosophy and the good things you're doing. Troy, anything for the people?
No, I think we covered everything.
Becca, where can we find you at?
Instagram, it's Becca Marshall. The Marshall is MARSHAA, so add an A, and then LLL, so add an L. I know.
We'll do a story before we get out of here, and we'll tag you.
Click that name.
Right on.
It's an extra A and an extra L.
Right on.
So Instagram is the best place to find me.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for checking in, being here for our first live, and we're out of here.
Thank you.
I wanna relax, put my mind at ease. Good friends and good vibes, now that's all I need. When life hurts, come down and float in levity. Let your problems wash away into serenity. Whoa.